Leah, turn on the video.
Now?
Yeah. Exactly.
I think he is. I think he's introduced you.
Okay.
Hi. Okay. Very good afternoon to everyone. And my name is Aktia. I'm one of the faculty members from ICOM. Okay, we'll be very happy to announce that we started our master series, the ICOM master series. So I have a few rules for during the master series. Okay, so please make sure you make your phone into a silence mode, okay, to avoid interruptions during the master series and master class. And then if you need to go to the toilet, then make sure you inform one of the staff, so that you won't have obvious interruption during the show. Okay? And also if you need a take photo, I will advise no flash. Okay? We'll be having live recording here. Okay, there's a camera here. We'll be taking photos, and then we also will share to the audience after the masterclass series. Okay, hopefully we take notes on that. Okay, there will be around somewhere around 45 minutes to 1 hour for the whole duration.
About 40 minutes
40
plus
minutes.
for the presentation and then Q&A 20 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So before we begin, I would like to invite Miss Irene, okay, to give one two words.
Welcome to ICOM. For our students, welcome back to a semester. Okay, for those who are graduating in April, congratulations in advance. Make sure you meet that deadline. Okay? And for the guests, thank you so much for coming. This ICOM Masters series is a win-win-win for three part, or we call it tripartite win. Okay, the first thing is we did this, or we started this because 2025 is ICOM's 30th year. So we would like to celebrate it as a 30th anniversary. So come November, my baby becomes 30 years old. Okay, so in line with that, what I wanted to do was to bring the industry, the music industry, to ICOM. Okay, that's the main thing we wanted to do, was to bring them here so that they can connect with you, both ICOM students as well as musicians and music enthusiasts. Okay, either from the schools or from amateur musicians, so that you get a place, a safe zone that you can share, that you can connect, that you can network, and you can learn together. Okay, that's one we wanted to do. Secondly was for the clinicians, for the music industry, who's who. Okay? For them, it's a great opportunity to share knowledge, experience, what they did right, what they did want to do but did not turn out right, why, so that they can pave the path for you, the next generation, so that you can avoid those pitfalls. The industry that I was in many years ago is quite so different now. There were some great things we did then, but then it doesn't work anymore these days. And what you are doing right now, we would never have configured that out. Okay, so therefore there's a learning curve for everybody, and the ones that we have invited, the hand-picked 10 clinicians. For every month, we're going to be having this once a month masterclass. We pegged it on a Thursday, 3 p.m. Okay, we're trying to get out of here by 4:30 before the traffic hits, okay? That's the idea. And the Jalan Pahang traffic is horrendous, okay? So in view of that, I'm just gonna do that for you. That's for the music industry, guys. We're going to come here to see what we're doing and also to share knowledge with you so that there is a legacy they're leaving behind. For you, the students and the audience, it's a great opportunity to hear, learn, share, meet, network. If I were you, young musicians, I would have had my demo ready. If you didn't, yeah, that's nowadays generation, isn't it? Those days we used to scramble. The minute we got to see somebody, we would just automatically, put something in their hands. Okay? Nowadays there's probably a link to say, okay, this is my Insta, or whatever else it is, my Spotify, go and check it out. You know what I mean? So be ready, be hungry, be eager. Okay? It is my profound pleasure and privilege to have us Samad, who's an ICOM and Berklee alumni. Okay, and this boy, when he first came to ICOM, okay, way back in the early 2000s, okay, had fire in his eyes, always playing his guitar. I knew he's going to be somebody. Yeah, and true enough, he is somebody. Okay, and today he represents the Malaysian music industry's who's who. Okay, to talk to you and to share with us. Okay, so it gives me great pleasure to invite us, Samad. So without taking any more of your time, the stage is yours.
I'm just gonna play a song first, and then we'll get into all the tips and all that kind of stuff. This is, you might know this one. Thank you. That was Gitaran Jiwa by P. Ramlee, although you haven't done P. Ramlee. And that was actually one of my earliest arrangements. I actually probably arranged it around the time when I was at ICOM, or just about starting, like around the time I started ICOM. I was here many, many years ago, but I don't want to tell you like grandfather's story. We'll never leave. Trust me, I've made people not leave. So today's topic is a very long one. I'm not very good at summaries, so it's what I wish I knew about jazz improvisation 27 years ago. Basically around the time that you're in ICOM. I wish I knew all this then, but no one did this workshop, so I didn't know. Yeah, so a little bit about myself. Who am I? That's a picture of me in front of Berklee. I know, right? Blur, right? You're like, wait, Berklee, huh? If you didn't tell me, I don't know. This is not Berklee, but this was when I was in school. I managed to cover my photo. I'm there. And then, so I started off performing in school, and then I traveled, and I got to tour and perform different places. This is one of my favorite performances. That's me. This is in Segovia, Spain. It's one of the most beautiful venues I played in Segovia, Spain for it's a folk festival in Segovia. Anyway, some trivia about me. I started playing guitar because of the band Nirvana. Anyone heard of the band before? Yes. Okay, they're kind of popular once upon a time. And then I was basically self-taught for about 3 months, and then I started learning classical guitar at this place called Mahogany in Ampang. If you guys know Ampang Point, it's somewhere near Ampang Point. Just trying to make sure I have enough space so I don't block my own text. Then I studied at ICOM, and then at Berklee I did a dual major in jazz composition and performance. Then I moved to California and studied at San Jose State University and did my master's there. And I was also a faculty member for the Berklee Summer Guitar Sessions in 2007 and 2008. And I'm originally a classical guitarist, and then I started fingerstyle, and then I got, now I'm more focused into jazz. That's kind of like what I enjoy doing a lot. Anyone want to guess how old I am? Just for fun. Just for fun. First correct guess, not the second and the third one. First correct guess gets a video course from me. Some people here actually know me, they might know my age. Here's a clue. I was a student at ICOM before Freddie even taught here. I like saying that. He's not here, I can say anything about him. So anyone want to guess? If not, we move on, it's okay.
Are there any other tips?
Oh, any other tips? I'm not in my 20s.
33.
Huh?
33.
Huh?
33.
33. Wow, it's a double digit. My age is it's so close. I'm actually 44 right now. I'm 44. I'm turning 45 this year.
Can change to how to stay young.
Meet my food coordinator, raw vegan chef Ian, who feeds me. Yeah. Anyway, I guess my point is but the point is, even until today, I keep on learning. Basically, I'm 44, turning 45. That's a picture of me with Steve Vai after his concert. Trivia. This guy eventually became my student. He's in the Philippines. He's studying with me via Zoom right now. That's Alex Hutchings from the UK, and that's Ultimate, who's now a politician. Anyway, my point is that I think learning is not something that you stop after you finish your diploma or your degree or your master's even, or your PhD. I think it's just something ongoing. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's very little, but it's just some trivia. But let's start off by listening. Just now I played you Guitar and Jiwa, which doesn't have that much improv, what I did just now, but we're going to listen to some different kinds of jazz, and then we'll take it from there. Louis Armstrong, When the Saints Go Marching In. Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Hot House. Charlie Hunter, the song's called No Money, No Honey. He's playing an 8-string guitar. He's playing the bass line and the melody at the same time. Is it blocking now? Better. Okay. This one is, the style is called bebop. It was popular in New York in the 1940s, mainly as a way to harass other musicians that didn't practice. It's a joke, but it's partly true. It was what musicians played at the jam sessions. Esperanza Spalding on bass and vocals, and Gretchen Parlato. This is a song by Antonio Carlos Jobim, but they're doing it as a vocal duet. This is Shibuya Shirazu Orchestra. It's one of my favorite Japanese live ensembles. They're completely insane. We saw them in Berlin, but this is a different show. Wolfgang Wolfspiel Trio, Angular Blues. This is at the Freight and Salvage in California. Dorian Ketchens, When the Saints Go Marching In. This is on the streets in New Orleans. There's no bass player, the guitarist is actually playing the bass line. Okay. So let's discuss. Now you're probably wondering, why am I playing all these like very short segments? You're like, oh, tak puas ah, I want to hear more. And I guess the thing is for me, is that jazz is not one thing. Jazz is not just, Kenny G or Kenny Garrett or Pat Metheny or Pat Martino. It's not just Snarky Puppy. It's a lot of different kinds of, there's a lot of different kinds of jazz. So you might like one of them. Hey, Lucas is here. What up? Sorry, shout out to Coaching Kerjaya Music. Inside joke. So anyway, I guess my point is that there's a lot of different kinds of jazz, and you might like one of it, you might like all of it, all that you heard, and you might not like any of that. Even if you didn't like anything that you saw in the video just now, there's a lot more out there, which is my point. And I think if you want to learn jazz, it doesn't mean that you have to know every single thing, but it is very helpful to be aware that there's a lot of variety. So some things to think about, a little bit interactive. Anyone want to answer? What's the difference between jazz and rock, for example? Anyone want to answer? What's the difference? Is it the same? It's okay, I'm not your teacher, so okay, but?
More to sound.
Sound, correct? And jazz? Small, huh?
More clean style.
Correct. We like to go to the dentist. Absolutely correct. How about, correct, that's right. It's different kind of energy, very true. How about jazz and R&B? Is it the same? Is it different? Anyone? Oh, everyone afraid the wrong answer. Sorry, tak ada soalan bocor. No? Okay. How about jazz and blues? Is it the same? Is it different?
A lot of similarities.
A lot of similarities. Some jazz is played in a blues style or in a blues form. Some blues has some jazz elements. Very true. How about jazz and pop? Is it the same? Pop can make money, jazz less. Correct. How about jazz and classical? Is it the same? I asked this to students when I did a clinic at MIA as well, Malaysian Institute of Art. They're more classical students. Is it similar? Like just now you saw like Wolfgang Wolfspiel, he played a classical guitar and it sounded more like chamber music. Is it suddenly classical? It feels like classical people look down on jazz. Whew! I'm not gonna say anything on camera, but good points. I guess what makes a song? What makes a song a performance jazz? This is just things to think about. Anyone want to say anything?
Lots of improv.
Improv, exactly. But rock also. Sometimes they take rock solos. But what makes it different? When you have a rock guitarist improvising a solo or blues guitarist taking a solo, what makes one jazz and what makes one blues? Anyone? Don't be afraid. I'm not grading anyone. Not publicly lah. I hope I write later. No? Don't have? Okay.
Maybe Mr. Freddy can answer.
Oh, is Mr. Freddy here? Ooh, Freddy knows everything. Apa khabar, Tuan?
JD can answer.
Oh, JD can answer. Ayo, tak boleh lah pas-pas. Okay, I move on. Later I tanya. So I guess this is easier to answer. What was interesting to you in the videos? Anything particularly was interesting compared to any other one? Anyone? This is no correct answer or wrong answer. Did someone say something?
I enjoyed the last video.
You enjoyed the last one? Which one? The New Orleans one, is it?
The lady.
Yeah, the lady when the Saints go marching in.
Yeah, I like that one.
Quite nice, right? There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of, I feel sometimes, people think, I don't know, there's a perception with jazz, right? People think like it has to be at either hotel lounge before you go to the Chinese restaurant, you makan at the hotel, or it's, like at the club or something. But sometimes if you go to New Orleans, they're playing that on the street. That's what they play. They live that music. There's a lot of energy, a lot of, that's nothing to do with like 251s or sub-5s or stuff like that. Although all that is important, but there's an energy to just really living the music. That's a good one. Anyone else want to say any particular performer just now? What's interesting? Okay, I'll move on. So the question I'm going to try to cover as much as possible today is how do you learn to play jazz? And I'm going to share basically 5 top lessons I've learned over the past 27 years that seem simple but are not. That's John Scofield. John Scofield used to play with Miles Davis. Behind there's Wolfgang Muspiel. Last year, I applied for a scholarship and I got a scholarship to attend this thing called the Alternative Guitar Summit Camp in upstate New York. So that's me taking a photo with John Scofield. He has a nicer beard than I do. So when I'm going to show the slides here, just to let you guys know in advance, you guys can get these slides. I will put a QR code later, like everything in life now, everything QR code. There'll be a QR code. You can later get the QR, and then you can get the slides. I will send you the slides. But also, if you feel like you want to take a photo when I put all the information here, feel free to take a photo quietly. So the first tip is listen like a jazz musician. Now, what does that mean? You have to know the difference between passive and active listening. So we're going to listen, this is interactive. We're going to listen to this one example, the 16 bars of Miles Davis trumpet solo on So What. We're going to listen to it 5 times, but we're going to listen to a different thing each time. So let's check it out. So listen to the trumpet solo, just the trumpet. Now we're going to listen to the bass player. Now we're going to listen to the pianist. Listen to how much he's actually playing or not playing. Now we're going to listen to the drums. listen to the whole thing overall. So whatever gets your attention, just listen to whatever you want. Okay. Anyone want to say how did that? Does anyone do that regularly, like every day? Listen like that. Well, I know people who do sound and have like X effects and stuff. They do that. But how about other people? How did it feel? Did it feel different listening to it each time, or is it exactly the same? Different. When you listen to it at the last time, when you finally, I told you to listen to the whole thing, did it feel different than when you listened to it the first time? Yeah. Anyone feel they heard more from the same recording the fifth time probably? Or is it the same experience? Wow, everyone very afraid to answer.
Feel it more.
You feel it more. Okay, very good, very good. So this is how jazz musicians listen. They listen very closely. Usually a bass player will listen only to the bass line. Cannot help that. It's like part of the gig. Guitarist listen to guitar, singer listen to the singer, but if you want to listen as a jazz musician, especially because the music is so improvisational, you want to pay attention to when you're going to play, because not everything's written out. It's not the pianist like, because the trumpet solo is improvised and you don't know when the trumpet player is going to start or stop. So you are playing in between the spaces. If you listen carefully, he's not, Bill Evans is not playing very busily throughout. It's that, you have the solo and then playing a little bit and then stuff. So this is a very important part, the listening bit. And a few tips. This is some of the stuff in Berklee. You can listen by artists. You pick an artist you like, Mike Stern or Snarky Puppy, Chick Corea, and just listen to their first album, second album, third album. And now you don't have to go to Tower Records and buy every single CD for 40 to 80 ringgit. You can just listen on Spotify or YouTube and get a lot out of it. You can listen by composer, it's really good. George Gershwin, Pat Metheny, you can listen to Stevie Wonder, listen to from his early records to his more recent records. You can also listen based on an era or style. You can listen to just 1920s music. You can just listen to 1950s jazz, 1980s jazz, or by kind of a style. You can listen to New Orleans jazz, or just 1940s bebop, or just funk jazz, for example. And I think the other part of listening is you want to transcribe songs, meaning that you're not, going online looking for the lead sheet. You're actually listening to the music and then writing down the melody, writing down the chords, even if it's not 100% correct. You transcribe, you learn by ear. The songs is for the repertoire, and then you're transcribing lines is for ideas, meaning that.
Let's say you have a chord.
What did you play on this? Any kind of line that you hear on a recording, if you like the sound, you should try to figure it out and play it on your instrument by ear. So that's the first part. So if anyone wants to do the snappy take photo thing, that was it lah. This was it. Okay, thanks. Anyways. Second tip is learn, and I mean really learn your instrument. What do I mean? There's a lot of things you can learn on your instrument, but this is what I'm going to show you guys is an incomplete list. It's very, very incomplete, but I would recommend, like any jazz teacher, learn this in all 12 keys and in all inversions and modes. The first thing I think is really important is to really practice the 4 main parent scales. This is a very, very, very Berklee thing. They always say learn your parent scales, not your parents, your parent scales. Your parents, you have to meet them during Chinese New Year, that's a different thing. Major scale, melodic minor, harmonic major,
just for the benefit of people might not know the name. Major, melodic minor, harmonic minor. Harmonic major is a major with a flat 6.
So those are the 4 parent scales. Quiz time. What are the notes for D flat major scale? Anyone? Quick. Too slow. Next one. What are the notes for B flat melodic minor? B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. No, don't know. What's the notes for F sharp harmonic minor? F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E sharp, F sharp. No, no. Okay. So you have to know this material if you want to. If you're serious about being a jazz musician, you should know this in all keys. This one is just I wrote last night before I was falling asleep. I was like, okay lah, this one seems like the easy one, so I'll do with that. It's a joke, it's a joke. There are 6 triad types, I would say. Most people will know major, minor, diminished, augmented. And sus2 and sus4 are not really triads, but they're 3 notes, and I just put them under the same category. You should know these because, well, they're really important.
Major, minor, diminished, augmented, sus2, sus4, sus-C. No, that's different.
So that's a 1980s joke. Quiz time. What do you know is for A flat major? Triad. Correct. Very good. What's D diminished?
E F A flat.
Correct. What's B sus2? Correct. Very good. E augmented.
E C sharp C.
Correct. G flat sus4. Everyone's favorite at ICOM. G flat sus4. No? G flat. G flat. C flat. D flat. Okay, very good. And there are 15 types of 4-part chords. This is a thing that also at Berklee is a very Berklee thing. One of my teachers, Bret Willmott, made me learn all this. And so it's major 7 flat 5, major 7 sharp 5.
Should get the thing. The cable long enough. No, I cannot play at the same time. It's okay, I'll say it out loud. I blocked the camera, but I'll say it out loud.
These are the sounds, 15 types of 4-part chords. Major 7, C major 7. Major 7 flat 5. Very jazz, you know. You can play that, you like. Major 7 sharp 5, one of my favorite ones. Dominant 7. Dominant 7 flat 5. Dominant 7 sharp 5. Minor 7. Minor 7 flat 5. This one is pop. I like this a lot, but some people will argue about the name on YouTube. Minor 7 sharp 5. 6 chord. Minor 6. Minor major 7. Diminished 7. Diminished major 7, something I really like a lot. Very popular when I was in Berklee. 7 sus4. So these 15 types, I think it's really important to practice because you can do a lot with these kind of sounds. It's not to say I'm like an expert at every single one, but you should still practice it. Even though if you're very lazy, start off with major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and diminished 7. So my private students, I start with those.
Minor major 7 is at the 6.
No, it's just this one. Actually, it's not based on the category. I just labeled it there because this is how I memorize it. I think of major 7, and I think major 7 flat 5, major 7 sharp 5, dominant 7 flat 5 sharp 5. Yeah, it's just how I memorize it because I always remember up to like 13 or 14, then forget which one. So because some people will say it's 7 chords, but 6 is not a 7 chord. It's a 4-part chord. 4 different notes. Quiz time. What are the notes for A flat major 7? Quick. A flat, C, A flat, G natural. Wow, see, even the screen also doesn't want to give you. D7 sus4. D, G, A, C. No. E flat minor 7. E flat, E flat, E flat, E flat. No. Anyway, just for me, when I name the names of the chords, by the way, in my head I'm visualizing it on the guitar. That's how I do it personally. So when I think of it, I don't think of like count the interval or write down the name and then major scale and then flat. I just see it on the guitar. So literally just now when I say A flat major 7, well that one I already know lah. But like E flat minor 7, I'm just thinking of. I'm actually seeing that in my head even if I don't touch it or play it. The other thing is to be able to read well in your instrument as a musician, be able to sight read, and also to be able to play back what you hear, which is ear training. So if you're in ICOM or you're going to Berklee, this is probably what you're going to spend about many semesters and probably failing one of the semesters, and then repeating it and then still managing to survive and make a career in the music industry. No one I know. Anyway, so this is the list. This is very incomplete. Next one, learn the repertoire. When I say learn the repertoire, I mean memorize and be able to play the song. You know, not just like you have iReal Pro on your iPad, like I know the repertoire. No, you don't. You have it on your iPad. It means that you have a PDF file or you have an app. You know, that's not it. So for the songs, when I say memorize, you learn the melody, you learn the chords, and be able to play a solo version. So for example, if you take something like, let me think about what. Let's say Chendering. Jimmy Ball, and that's the first phrase. So I can play the melody and I can play it with the chords. I know the chords I know. And then I can play it together at the same time. So doesn't matter, I don't care whether you're a vocalist, a bass player, a keyboardist, you should be able to do a solo version of a song without accompaniment as much as possible. That means that you really know the song and you're not relying on someone else. This is specific to jazz, huh? So I'm not saying like you sing every single part in a drum and bass song. No. This is specific to jazz standards. And improvisation, I usually get my students to use the CASL, chess or CASL, which means that every time you learn a chord, find a voicing for it, learn the arpeggio, know the scale for it, and then also have lines. Be able to basically, eventually, you're not intellectually thinking of, oh, C minor 7 is C minor 7, C, E flat, G, B flat, and C Dorian is C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, and then, the line is like, you want to just be able to play the chord and have a. Just anytime you play a chord, you should be able to play lines that are related to that chord without thinking that much. If you're still thinking, you need to practice. If you want to sound good, like if you want to sound bad, don't practice. And then you want to play and jam and perform your repertoire as often as possible. What I mean by play is at home. No one's there, no one's watching you except your cat. Even your cat also is going to the next room. That's what I mean by play. Jam is with a friend or an enemy, depending on how much you hate them and what song is it. And perform your repertoire means to do it on stage in front of an audience or in front of your cat or dog. Also possible. Okay? If I discovered that if the cat is not facing you, it actually likes you and trusts you. So don't take it as an offense. Understand the music. You want to know the song form of whatever you play. This is more like analysis. So whether it's a 12-bar blues, rhythm changes, A-B form, A-A-B-A, A-A-B-C. Quiz time. What song form is this? Quick, answer. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. It's like Squid Game but for jazz. Ding dong, ding. No. What's this? How many bars is it? Quick. You can count.
12 bars.
Correct. It's a 12 bar? Correct. What's this one? This is a song called Solar. How many bars? Oh, I played the whole song. You didn't count. Cannot count until the finish. Has the bar gone down so low? The bar, see? There's 16 bars, it's a 12 bar form. It's a 12 bar form, but it's not a blues. This is not a blues. It looks like a blues, it's not a blues.
What about this one?
Time after time. This is not Cyndi Lauper, for anyone young enough to remember. What song form is this? Oh, too late! Even the computer doesn't want to give you a second chance. Okay, they gave you a second chance. This is really a kind of an A. This is an A. This is different, so it's a B. The third one's like an A. And then, it's like the A. And then the last one is like a C, I guess. Like A, B, A, C. Sort of. You want to understand the chord progression. That's what harmony is for. So anyone taking classes with Freddie, this one line is basically 4 semesters or 3 now, I think. Identify diatonic harmony, key changes, and modal interchange. Diatonic harmony is the chords in a key. Key changes is when it modulates. Modal interchange is when you borrow a chord. You know, when you hear stuff like. You hear like this kind of like that's modal interchange. It's a little bit of spiciness. I cannot tell you the whole thing. Like the whole thing will be like 4 hours modal interchange. You know, it's like you have to go for class lah. Go to ICOM, and then you want to analyze the melody harmony relationship. So if you look at here in this song, the first note is the third of C, and then flat 3 of A minor, flat 7 of D minor 7, 5th of G7, 3rd 6, flat 7, 5th, flat 7, 5th, 3rd 7, so on and so forth. Basically, when you play a note, you want to know what note is that in relation to the chord you're playing. Why is this important? Is because when you're playing a solo version or when you're improvising, that is important for your hearing and also for how you interpret the song. Yesterday, for example, which is it's like a 911. It's a call for help. No, it's not. It's actually a suspension.
I've always wanted to tell that joke.
So, and then when you learn the song, right, make sure you don't have any blank spots. You can have blank space if it's Taylor Swift, but you don't have any blank spots, meaning that there's no part that's confusing for you. You know every single bar what's happening. At this point, you're probably like, oh, I regret coming to this workshop. Now I know it's so difficult. Why would I do this? Well, see, that's why I told you, it took me 27 years. By the time I found out, it's too late. And you want to recognize patterns, meaning line cliches, common chord progression, or chord cycles. You want to recognize patterns because patterns are what a listener will be able to follow, even if they don't know what the theoretical name is. If they do, they probably watch Rick Beato, that's why they show off. Okay. The last part is, the 5th tip is play, jam, and perform. Don't just understand it in your head. A lot of people, they can go to forum, they can like argue with people, no, that's a flat 7, or like it's a, oh, that's a flat 7/7 chord, and then you ask them to play, they cannot play. But they're very good at typing. They're professional typists. So you want to play the songs in your repertoire, and I would say, play them solo with a metronome and with backing tracks as well. You want to jam the songs with your friends in bands and jam sessions. When I was a student at ICOM, and there's a floor here that not a lot of people hang out. It's the 3rd floor. It's where the practice rooms are. I don't know whether you've seen those places. But there's a floor just dedicated for practice rooms, and I used to hang out with my friend Kevin Tessera and a whole bunch of different people, Rozhan Razman, who's also going to be presenting at one of the Master Series things. A lot of different people. We just like 2 guitarists, sit in a room there and then just start playing all the songs. Ubo Sala, My Funny Valentine La, Autumn Leaves, Yesterday, all these songs we just play one after the other. And it's the same thing I did when I was a student at Berklee as well. I would get a friend who would come to my apartment in Westland Avenue and we'd just play songs for like an hour or 2 hours. That's how you learn the music. Well, JD managed to teleport from there to there. Very good. So, and you want to perform these songs at the shows, you know, unless you are in a metal core or like, you know, rap, then maybe rap band, maybe no lah. But, and you want to cover the arrangements that you like. So if you hear a good arrangement, you might want to just learn it note for note, just to learn at the very least. And if you're like me and you want to do shows where people cannot recognize the arrangement, you arrange and make your own arrangements. Because then that's a real big part of jazz is personalizing the music, not just playing it exactly like the same way that other people have been playing it, which is different from classical. And then you want to grow your repertoire. I recommend feeding the repertoire at least, you know, twice a day, preferably like within a good, only vegan food, and regularly so that it grows to become a big repertoire. Now, quiz. Anyone remember the 5 top lessons I mentioned just now? It's only 5. Good thing I didn't write 27. 1 for each year, no?
Know your instrument.
Know your what? Know your instrument? Good. Is this the most that people have been asking questions non-stop in front of you ever? No, everyone very quiet.
Listen actively.
Listen actively, very good. Listen like a jazz musician, listen actively.
Learn the repertoire.
Learn the repertoire. It's my private student, by the way. He remembers stuff. Anyone? Practice. Practice. Play jam, correct. In no particular order, those are the 5 things. There's a lot more, but if I go on a lot more, then we'll be here for the year. So, for that part, the conclusion, jazz requires time, dedication, and patience. So the real question is, are you really committed to it, or you just say you are? See the judging emoji? The judging emoji is judging, is giving judging vibes. So let's learn to play by learning a jazz song. So I'm going to just spend a little bit on this just to give you context of how I actually practice. But we're going to listen to one of my, it's a song called Blue Bossa. When I was a student at ICOM, this basically is like the ICOM war song. It's because it's easy enough to learn, but you can do a lot of things to it. But a lot of people actually haven't listened to the original version by Joe Henderson. So we're going to listen to it a little bit. Actually, the original version is not even bossa. It's called Blue Bossa, but it's not a bossa nova. So don't be confused. Actually, be confused. And the lead sheet is incorrect. Not exactly what is played. But listen more. What's the song form? How many bars? How many keys are there? Which one's diatonic? Which one's not? What intervals are used in the song? What will I have for dinner tonight? So what do you do when you learn a jazz piece? So I really recommend, if you haven't heard the original version, check out that version. So you listen attentively to the song and different versions if available, if it's a song that's been recorded. Sometimes you play songs for a new artist, someone who wrote a song, you don't have a recording, maybe you have a demo, so then you only have one version maybe. Memorize, learn the melody, memorize, learn the chords, memorize, learn the material, the chord voicings, the arpeggios, the scales, the lines, and then jam, experiment, and perform. This is what you do. I'm not saying this is easy, I'm saying it takes time, but if you come here for easy thing, then why come on a Thursday to listen to me talk, right? Yeah, I can tell you, oh, jazz very easy, just practice this, 1, 2, 3, and then you watch TikTok for 5 hours. Yeah! Brain rot, no. So, I'm just gonna explain a little bit about my process. I'm not gonna if I actually practice, then it'll be like 5 hours here, you just watch me play really boring things. But essentially, when I first learned the song, I'm just trying to get, I'm just playing the melody. then I'll just learn the chords separately. I'll play a 9 there. I'm trying to find a simple version of the chords, not changing it too much. Try to play it solo together, you know, preferably. I mean, this song is really hard to do that. And you do go on and so on and so forth. It's easier for ballads, it's easier for swing tunes. This one's a bit tricky, but ideally you want to be able to do that as well. And then that's for the learning the repertoire part I mentioned earlier. And then for the chord arpeggio scales and lines, I'll take one of the chords, let's say C minor 7. The voicing I wrote there is this one. And I'll learn the arpeggio, so C minor. And then just the 7. And then the scale. And then just a line. Any kind of line. And you might be wondering, where do you learn these lines? You can learn them from recordings, you can sing them out, play a line. So you can sing something out and then be able to play on the instrument. You can take your time. You can sing out a tune and then sing in tune and then play on your instrument. So it can be from internal, inner hearing, what you hear, or it can be external, from you hear someone else playing it, or from a recording. Everything is valid, as long as it sounds nice in the end. So what I have here is just an example of me going through that process. So right now, if you feel like quitting and not wanting to learn jazz, well, it's hard. If not, it didn't take me 27 years to prepare the slides, you know. I mean, the slides took a few days lah, but the information took a long time. Anyways, so see, there were people here before you. I was so happy to find this photo. This was from probably 10 years ago. Some of these people already graduated. Some of them are doing different things. Some of them are session players actually. Okay. Anyway, so this is that's what I wanted to share with you guys. That was the main presentation part. That's all the stuff I prepared. There's a lot more lah. Actually, this is probably the second or the third. Actually, this is the third version of the slides. I actually saw the first version. Or second, you saw the second version. I didn't show anyone the first version. Anyways, ask me anything, specific or not specific. Don't be shy, unless your name is Shy. If there's anything unclear, ask now so others can benefit from your question. If you need more examples or want thoughts on your situation, no personal questions about relationships, I'm horrible at that. But about jazz, you can ask me stuff. Anyway. So, open to everyone. Jemput tanya, please ask. Yes? Yes, you.
What are some of like the standards?
Hey, is that a mic for people to ask questions? Yeah. Okay, please use that mic so everyone can hear you.
Hello.
And judge how resonant your voice is. Okay.
What are some of the jazz standards that you would recommend that we should start with? Because there are so many, right? You open the
God,
book and so many.
In an alternate version of this presentation, I actually have a list. But I can tell you, this is how you pick. Depends on your purpose. If you just want to challenge yourself, learn anything you want. If you actually want to jam with people, learn the jam. Okay. If you want to go for jam sessions, right, learn the songs that everyone else knows so you can jam with people. If not, they look at you, they're like, no, we don't know that snarky puppy tune. No. Unless they all like it. But in general, I would say learn a blues, so maybe like Blue Monk or Opera or C-Jam Blues. Learn a bossa nova, Girl from Ipanema, How Insensitive, Quiet Nights, Corcovado. Learn a swing tune, like something like Days of Wine and Roses, Autumn Leaves, All of Me, not the John Legend one, the other one, the older one. learn a waltz. Someday my prince will come. Waltz for Debbie. What's the shorter waltz? I don't remember. But basically, you want to learn songs that are coming from different types. So don't just learn like 75 swing tunes in 4/4. It's great for those gigs lah, unless you're playing for a swing band like dancing then. But try to learn one of each and then repeat. A ballad, maybe Misty, Body and Soul, My Funny Valentine, My Romance. Start with the obvious ones and then go to the more obscure ones. The obscure ones is just to show off. You don't know the songs. Everyone knows the song, man. You don't know the song. The popular ones is to show that yes, I can play. I'm not like stupid. I can play the song. I know. Everyone knows the song. Yes. Does that make sense? Yeah, I would say with that. Anything obvious, learn those. If someone says do bossa and you say you don't know, learn lah. Sometimes they might be songs you don't like, but everyone seems to play it. Like Isn't She Lovely? Make sure you learn that. It's just like a survival tune. In KL, every other person will ask you at the jam session, Isn't She Lovely? If not, you get like, Can Take My Eyes Off of You. That's it with a lot of love. Okay, next question. Wow. Anything else? It can be about your instrument, about practice. It can, yes.
How do you approach your practice session?
With a lot of panic and uncertainty. Well, not really. I approach it actually. That's a really good question. I look at what is the goal first, and then I reverse engineer what I need to do to get it. Which means that, for example, okay, let's take a real example. Okay, let me use a song that I actually already know, but I'll tell you the process that will do it. So if I am trying to learn a new song, just for myself, for example, right? So I will do the same thing I did just now. Just learn the melody, learn the chords, and learn a solo version. If I am, let's say, learning something for a gig, like a performance or something. I did a show with my friend Julian Chan, who's a saxophone player. It's a big band show. There's probably like, 35, 45 pages of music. I start with what is the most difficult parts in the repertoire. Meaning that are there lines where everyone will know I'm going to make a mistake. I start with the difficult parts and then I go back to what's easy. I try to find which songs are the fastest ones, which songs are in weird keys. I practice what is the most difficult first. So like when I used to play with the Malaysian Philharmonic Orchestra, I will listen to everything and find what is difficult. I'll start with the difficult parts and then I'll go to the easier ones. Because the worst is, being embarrassed in front of the orchestra conductor pointing like, you didn't practice, it didn't happen to me like sometimes you miss stuff. And it shows if you don't practice. It's not that you're going to get it perfect during the first rehearsal, but it's very obvious if you didn't look at the music. Not everyone has the charm to basically to charm the conductor or the band leader every single time. You can't get away with that every single time. It's better to just do the work. So I look at the end goal and then I figure out what I need to practice. And if you don't know what to practice, get a good teacher. If you don't have a good teacher, find a semi-good teacher. But finding a good teacher is always much better, much easier. Honest teacher. Yeah. Yes.
So it was really a wonderful presentation.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, the question is, when you start composing the jazz music,
okay.
Will you start composing the melody and work with the songs? Or what's your way of approaching?
So writing original music. I'm a melody guy, which means I tend to write the melody first and then find the chords. So let's say if I try to write something now. I'm singing the melody. That's how I would normally write. But if I want to get out from how I normally write, I will start with the rhythm or the groove first, or I'll start with the chords first. And it's a nowadays actually what I've been doing is I'm starting to do more electronic stuff. So I got a Ableton Move, which is like a controller thing, to just start writing from a different perspective. There's no right or wrong way, but in order to get out from what you normally do, you try another way. If you haven't done it yet, do it whatever you want to do first. But personally, if no one pressures me, I'll just write from the melody first. Because I find that writing from the melody is a good way for people to remember. Because no one's like, wow, it's such a nice song. D flat major 7, yeah. E flat major 7, yeah. D flat major 7, yeah. D flat minor 7, oh, so good. G flat 7, chum 11, ooh. You know, I mean, rarely people will like, you know, sing and like, yeah, E minor 7. You know, wow. Usually people are singing the melody or they're dancing. If you think about it, melodies make people cry or feel something. It's an emotional, well, it's more like melodies. What's the thing I said? Anyway, melody to me is very emotional. Harmony is like coloring the emotion. Rhythms make people move. If you listen to R&B, it's kind of oriented between melody and harmony. And well, it's all three lah. But like funk is more rhythm oriented. Jazz ballads are more melody in relation to harmony. Folk songs are melody. Bob Dylan is lyrics. It's not even about the melody, it's lyrics first. So every genre of music will have a different emphasis. So it depends what you want to write. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes, sure.
So a lot of songs have like, you know, they're played by many different musicians.
Correct.
So how do you choose that, okay, I want to learn this version or this version is suitable for me?
If you want to learn for your own goodness, you find the oldest version that you can find, oldest recorded version, so you know the history of the music. Because later versions, sometimes they change the key, they modulate, they reharmonize. If you know the early, like there's one, right? A Beautiful Love is actually a waltz, but on the real book is. But actually, original is supposed to be. It's actually a waltz, and it's a very like kind of sad. I think it's a very sad song in a like horror movie actually. Yeah, there's a guy Mike Moreno who I studied with, obsessed about the origins of songs. So start with the original version, the oldest version that you can find. If you can find like the actual piano sheet music, find that. Refer to the oldest version, and then if you like a particular version that Herbie Hancock or whoever did, then see what is different from that version. You Google or find a good teacher that has all the lead sheets. Yeah. Usually you can find the thing about all this old like music, right? The older piano sheet music version. A lot of it has been scanned, and you can find it online, and it's not infringing copyright because it's so old that it's actually out of copyright. And some of it is out of copyright in certain countries. So if you move to that country, it's legal. So, it's a joke, but it's serious. But that's how I would approach it. Find the oldest version so you understand where it's coming from, and then find a version that you like. And if you really like the song, then study different versions of it. But don't worry about having. It's not that when you learn all the 10 versions, suddenly you graduate like I'm the master of this song. No one can touch me. You know? It's more I think you will feel more confident when you play with other people. You're like, oh, this person listened to this version because you can tell they're doing that version. And most people are lazy anyway, so you can, if you do a little bit more work, you can get away. People will think you're actually like very hardworking. Actually, most people are lazy. Yeah. So don't think you're too rajin. That means hardworking. Okay. Any other questions? Mas, ada soalan tadi? Pressure pula, pressure terus. Yes.
So for the creating the improvisation line,
Mm-hmm.
how do you come up with the groove or the rhythm?
For the note choices, you mean?
No, you already know have the selected note
Uh-huh.
choices, but then how do you come up with the groove or for the rhythm?
The lines are usually very specific to the genre, to the style. So meaning that, okay, let me show you an example. That's a really good question.
Like for example, like Eric Marienthal and Stansgate play blue bossa, they have different
Completely different.
Completely different.
because it's a language, it's like saying if you learn English from me, right, it'll be horrible. Because I don't speak grammatically as not really that great. Everyone will have a different way in terms of the diction, in terms of the thing. So it depends on what kind of you like. If you like Eric Marienthal, you're gonna like the smooth jazz kind of thing. It's more 16 notes, a lot more double time stuff. It's very poppy. And if you listen to Stan Getz, it's more like that kind of like very smooth, deep, like 60s kind of vibe. Which one is better, which one's worse? It's a matter of taste. That's the main thing about jazz is you have so much freedom to choose what you like. So it's not to say that, oh, this guy played like Stan Getz, hit him, never call him for gig. It's no like, it's like, I mean, some people might do that, but I guess the point is that you choose what kind of sound that you like, and you learn more of that. If it's just for like self-improvement, you just learn, and over time you can learn, you know, for example, right? So, you know, if you did it, that's kind of like mid-tempo, not so fast, you know, but if you did, everything's going to give you a different kind of feeling to it. And initially, to get that time feel, right, you do it to the recording. So you can tell that that is the, so that your time fits in with something that you like. Basically, copy what you like. And most likely, you're going to fail anyway because it's very hard to get it exact. But you'll improve your playing by trying to sound like something you like. Better copy stuff you like than stuff you don't like, because why are you copying stuff you don't like? Unless they pay you a lot of money, then copy anything they pay you for. But that's a business workshop, it's not a music workshop. Does that make sense? And every style of music, for example, okay, on C minor, Blue Bossa. Kind of like bossa. Now, on this app, which let me show you on the other screen so you can see what's happening here. This is an app called iReal Pro. You can actually change the style, if I can find it. I shouldn't have done that. Move it here.
Right there.
Yeah, so you can change the style and let's say, for example, they have doo-doo cats. I don't know what doo-doo cats is. Oh, let's try the doo-doo cats. That sounds fun. Okay, where's the play button? Okay, I move it back to the other screen because I cannot see the play button here. Okay. It's up there. Sorry, that's just the playback from this. Okay, here's the playback. So I can't play the same line. Swing thing. I didn't know doo-doo cats was a thing. I guess it's a thing. But basically, when you want to learn to, let me pick another style as well. Just as another example. Let's pick something. Ballad, melodic, Latin pop. That's fine. I don't like the virtual funk. Is it like virtual insanity? No. Is it like Jamiroquai? Yeah, it's like Jamiroquai. The groove has changed, right? So you have to fit that. has changed. You can't play the same rhythmic ideas anymore. You have to fit to the groove. And one of the ways to learn it is to just randomly choose, like, I just changed the backing. The groove has changed, so I have to play rhythmically different. Now, if you're just starting to do this, you won't know what to do. Therefore, you copy what people play in that groove. You listen to Eric Marianto, you listen to Kenny G, you listen to Kenny Garrett, you listen to Pat Metheny. You copy those lines and you remember that that works in that kind of rhythmic context. And then when you go to a jam session, you try it out, then you fail, then you go home and practice some more, you cry a bit, then you practice, then you go out, jam again, still fail, go back, practice, cry a bit, practice again. Eventually you start sounding good. Most people will stop at the crying part and then they don't go out and jam again or play with people. Or actually they never cry, they don't know how bad they sound, they just go out and play. Then they wonder why no one called them. It's because they sound bad. But Malaysians are very polite. They won't tell you in your face you sound bad, they just never call you for gigs. True. Does that make sense in terms of the rhythm? Okay. I try to impart with wisdom and humor. Okay, maybe a last question. One more question. Yes, Lucas.
From a non-jazz musician, what would you say are the rules or guidelines to get started on making jazz music?
Like from a production perspective?
In a composition perspective.
Study a jazz piece that you like and try to understand everything you can about it. So for example, let's say, there's one of my favorite jazz ballads is Body and Soul. I would just learn to play it, just learn to play the whole thing. It's so exciting, such an exciting question. I will make a playlist of every version I can find of it on YouTube or Spotify or Tidal, whatever you use. I'll listen to that all the time. I'll try to find a lead sheet or a transcription of it. If I can't find it, I'll write it down myself. And then I will learn to play that song as an example. And then after I've done all that, I will try, as much of it, I'll try to write a piece inspired by that one piece of music. Just like, when you're doing production, right, you always have a reference song, right? I want to reference, Bring Me the Horizon, is it? You listen to that, and then I want to make a banger like this, I'm trying to speak your language, right? So you want to write something that gives that vibe. So you have a reference, and then you try to write something similar to that. And if you keep doing that repeatedly, you're going to start getting closer to getting the vibe. I think the vibe is the most important thing, because sometimes people can write a song and theoretically correct, but it doesn't feel right. So same thing, you just model how people, the pieces that you like. Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Thanks. Really good question.
Okay. Can I have one last one?
Yes, sure.
Just now you mentioned the word reharmonization.
Yes.
What is that?
Okay, I'll tell you the joke answer and the serious answer. Okay, the joke answer is to reharm. It means to injure again. But the serious answer is this: when you have a song, for example, there are what they call the original chords, or as best as you can guess that those are the original chords. So when you harmonize a song, usually you're harmonizing it with the original chords. So if I have like, it's going to be C, 4, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, or C, F, C, G, C. But to reharmonize is to choose another chord in replacement for the original chord to create a different mood or a different atmosphere, or just to annoy people and confuse people. So for example, instead of doing that, I could do maybe and here. So it feels different. Is it better? I don't know. Sometimes that's why I say the joke was reharm to harm again.
I get it.
I mean, it's harmonies, but you know, one of my Berklee teachers said that is to harm a song again. Sometimes by changing the chords, it becomes interesting or better or creates a different atmosphere. Sometimes it makes the song sound worse. So, you know. That would be nice. Or you just want to scare people, you know. Or just or better. This is when in the horror movie someone's gonna die. This is the 10-second horror scoring tip. Wow, film scoring tip. Find a children's song or folk melody and harmonize it in minor seconds or some weird chord. Automatically scared, you know. And then probably get some wrong notes. And then don't resolve it. 10 years later, you know that. I watch a lot of movies. Does that make sense? Yeah. So reharmonization is an elective class in Berklee, and also I did a reharmonization class here when I was in ICOM as well. It's one whole semester.
So jazz musicians are supposed to have this skill?
Ideally lah. Sometimes people just play wrong chords. I think it's a good skill because it's but also sometimes people do it theoretically, and sometimes people do it because they can hear it. And I think it's in the end, all music is just a matter of taste. You do it because you want things to sound good and to make people, hopefully after they listen to you, they go home, they feel better, not worse. Unless it's a horror movie, then they should be scared after that. Cannot sleep. Joke but serious. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So can we, then is it the same meaning as chords?
Chords, okay.
Harmony and chords.
It's like this. If you have a single note and you play it in a way that's memorable, it's a melody. If you harmonize, if you play more than one note at a time, it's harmony. If you play it in a particular order, it becomes a chord progression. Yeah, and if you reharmonize, means that you're playing a set of chords, but you choose to change it here and there for whatever reason. You know, so it's a matter. It's a musical skill that you can train to do by studying the music, by studying how people have done, and also by understanding the context of why you would do it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Really good question.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, I think we're good. I'm just gonna go back to the original presentation part.
Thank you. There was a lot of good questions. Appreciate that. So I guess, okay. For those who want to go deeper, I guess what's next is the screen should appear or something, you know? Okay, I'll just tell you what it is. So if anyone is interested in this topic, you want to study this stuff deeper, obviously you can come to ICOM, and they have programs. They have a diploma in music, they have foundation in music, they also have a diploma in sound production, probably not going to learn about harmony. But do they learn harmony in DSP? No, they learn about sound production. But if anyone's interested, you want to study this stuff, you can study with me. You can talk to me after this, not for very long because we want to avoid the traffic. Or you can just email me as well at asamat3@gmail.com if you're interested for lessons. Also, you want the notes for the session, this is the QR code. I'll put the QR code at the end. It's going to be a bigger one after this. So thank you so much, Ms. Irene Savari, for inviting me to be part of this new series, everyone at ICOM, all of you here, my parents, my manager Ian, and you. And let's selfie and keep in touch. I think I'll just play something very short just to close the thing.
No, it's just
Me telling bad jokes.
and you can QR the dinosaur. So if anyone's curious why this guitar, like not enough wood, it's called a Yamaha silent guitar. It's just like just the frame. It's an Allen string.
Thank you. That was Malam Bulan di Pagar Bintang. The reharmonization part was the first one. Then later on I did. That's the reharmonization. I only saved it for the later part. Yeah, okay. So that's all. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for being here. And see you guys next time. Anyone wants a selfie, we can take a group photo. Hopefully we take a group photo. Let's take a group photo. Okay, cool. Thank you. And get the notes from the dinosaur when he appears.
Before that,
Yes.
I just want to give you a where is it? Certificate.
Yay.
Let me get.
Someone have a certificate. Thank you so much. Okay, on behalf of the school, I really would like to thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, for jumping and taking up this opportunity to
Thank
come
you.
and come back
Appreciate
home
it.
here. Yeah, this is something for you. This is recognized. It's a certificate of recognition.
Oh wow.
Going to be a master clinician. Okay.
This is when people do this photo for like the press.
Here we go. Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wasn't he awesome?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just stand here.
Everyone just stand here and
I think
adjust
it's enough
the camera.
people for people to stand here.